Hello everyone, I hope this video finds you well. Welcome to Snippet 49. Now what has prompted this snippet is this stamp here. I've got a new release on Monday the 16th of October, and this stamp here goes beautifully with that new release. But look at the price, £3.50. So that's half price, and I think that is a fantastic price. It's just a wonderful stamp, and I thought I'm going to showcase that because it'll go beautifully with my new release on Monday. And if you have a look, two other stamps that would go beautifully with the new release is these stamps as well. Would go beautifully with the new release, and look, the half price. Absolutely fantastic. But that's what's prompted it for Snippet 49. So I'm going to be using Garden Times stamp set 979, and I just think it's a glorious stamp. And I'm going to, let me just dab this a little bit because I've used a little bit of black ink. So I'm going to begin by using VersaFine Clair Verdant. So I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair Verdant. These are permanent ink pads. If you haven't got the Verdant and you haven't got the permanent ink pads, then you can use your oxides. But please remember, those are not permanent and react with water. And what I'm going to do then is use a little touch of Shady Lane. Just little touches. I'm sort of dabbing very sort of lightly. And then I'm going to use touches of Acorn. Quite liked it because it was called Acorn, and I'm doing an acorn. It's the simple things that make me happy. So I'm just adding a little bit of that acorn as well. And that's all I'm going to do. And I've got my 4 by 6 inch piece of Pink Frog smooth card, as always, for the snippets. So for Snippet 49, it's going to be nice and simple. So I'm going to place the stamp down, and as always, I'm allowing that ink just to absorb into the card. And you can see I'm not pressing it too hard, I'm not hurting my wrists. So if you've got dexterity problems, there's no need to press hard. The one important thing is just to give even pressure. So I can use one finger to give even pressure. And with the All and Create acrylic blocks, I can lever that acrylic block just to make sure I get that centre area. So if we just curl that acrylic block. Now for me, for a stamp set that is £3.50, I absolutely adore that. I just think it's gorgeous. And what I've done then is stamped it again, but can you see I've sort of cut it off here and I've cut it off there. Now can you imagine that at the edge of a card? You could just have it sticking out at the edge of a card. So what I'm going to do is just place this on the top. Now you can't have too much dimension. You can place it down on the side if you want, but I'm just going to place it slightly offset. So of course I didn't pick up my adhesive. And I'm always looking for ways to give you some ideas that will spark interest off for you to use your stamps in lots of different ways. Now, if you wanted to send a notelet to somebody, or you do purchase the stamps on Monday with my leaves, this just goes beautifully with it. And if you just add this with the leaves just on top, it looks stunning. So I'm going to add this little piece here, just slightly offset like that. There we go. Now, if you were making a card, you could give it dimension. There's no point me doing all this, like giving it dimension, when it's going in my snippet book. So we're not going to add any dimension. And play around. You can play around with your composition. So mine is going here. So we'll just add a little bit of adhesive. Again, you don't actually need to add too much adhesive because you can have little bits and pieces just sticking up. There we go. And then I've just, would you believe I've actually cleaned my brush? Now I know that's an absolute miracle for Tracy. So I've got some Twisted Citron Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going to pick that up. And I'm just going to blend nice and quickly that colour just out into the background. Now, obviously, you haven't got to, your snippet hasn't got to be done in a rush. You can just take your time and do your snippet at your own pace. I'm trying to show you how you can create simple ideas with hardly any time at all. So just going around my snippet, just with that twisted citron, just to add a little bit more. You can just blend that out with the colour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, which is the bluey one, I'm going to add some peacock feathers. Let's take the peacock feathers. I shall pick up that water, and then we'll pick up the peacock feathers, and we're just going to add some colour just from the peacock feathers. And you're just adding a little touch of that colour. So you're adding a light touch towards the edge of the acorn, and then you're just blending that colour out with plenty of water. So let's just, and then you blend out with the tinted water just to blend some of that colour out. So start with the darker colour, which is the peacock feathers, and then just blend it out with the tinted water. You're just blending out then with a tint of that colour. And you don't have to, I think it always looks better as well the less precise you are, if that makes sense. So don't be too precise. Just try and be nice and loose with that colour. And if you've got a good quality cardstock that allows the ink and the water to move that colour, it works a lot better. If your ink isn't moving, that's more likely to be your cardstock. So you do need a good quality cardstock. Sometimes we forget that the cardstock is important. What I'm going to do is just wipe that up. I'm just going to go back to the twisted citron. Just go back to that twisted citron. Pick up a little bit of the twisted citron, and let's just make that a little bit more prominent. And just work it into the more bluey colours. Just work that in. And that's why we've used a permanent ink, because you want that permanent ink so that that doesn't move. And you want to sort of layer your colour as well, just so that they blend together. There we go, so that you've got a nice blend. Let's just mop those up for the moment. And then on the same stamp set, you'll see the word garden. So we can add the word garden here. And what I'm going to do is just grab a piece of cardstock, because this, when it goes into my journal, it goes onto a black background. So I'm just going to add a faux black edge. You can use your ink pad, or you can use a Posca paint pen, which is what I'm using here. Don't forget to pump those Posca paint pens and shake them so that the paint is actually going to work. So just give this a little bit of a... Now, if you added little touches of gold to this, it would look beautiful. So I've added the word garden there. And then again, on the same stamp set, you've got your embellishments. You've also got a floral. So you've got your little embellishments here. So you can use your little embellishments. And again, I would definitely add, if I was making a card, I would add some dimension. I'm just going to add. So just decide where you're going to put your embellishments. So let's just add. And just play around with your placement just to see where you want it. For me, I don't like to have it dotted all over the place because it just plays around with my eyes. So for me, when I'm thinking about the composition, I'm thinking about the flow. There we go. And then what we're going to do is just add some little black splatters. Just some little black ones, and just be aware that with the black you need to sort of clean up quite promptly, just so that you don't end up in a mess. And you just have to ask yourself why I'm saying that. You know, from experience, the black, you can get in a little bit of a mess. So let's grab a white Posca pen. Just add a white Posca pen. And then you would just let that dry a little bit. You would let that dry. And I'm leaving the flowers white because that just makes everything pop. I will put it against a black piece. So let me just show you. We did snippets 47 and 48, and this is snippet 49. And if I just place that against a black mat, it looks amazing. I just absolutely love that. But before I finish, just so that you carry on, there's always ways just to up your game a little bit. So we're just going to add a little bit of Inktense pencil. It does help if you've got your little pieces stuck down. So just a little touch of the Inktense pencil, and just blend out a little bit more of the darker shading, just to add a little bit of darker shading. And you know, I'm like, have I stuck that down? I don't think I have, you know. It's hilarious, isn't it, you know? Don't think I've put hardly any glue on that. Shall we try again? There we go. So what I want you to do is add a little bit of shading just to the base of your acorns. And then what would go nicely with this, on Monday, let me just, there's also, I've got some washi coming out. I can't show the whole washi, but I've got some coming out, and you could use this washi just on the background. Let's just tear a little piece. So this is available on Monday, and it is washi 81 New Beginnings, and it's just got some lovely sort of words on there, and you can place, let's just place it up there, and you can actually see the text through the washi from your stamp. And that is your next snippet, snippet 49, just so that you can see that. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will leave the affiliate link to the website. I've got an affiliate link if you'd like to buy this stamp. So love to all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.